It is finally that time. No, it is not just Friday, but it's time to reveal my number one prediction for next year. Yep, and it's time to end that graphic forever. All right, and this one is targeted directly at the stock market. I think that next year will be the year of the small cap. So the prediction is the small cap 600 will do better than the S&P 500. This year wasn't even close, at least not until the end of the year. The small cap 600 ended the year with a 15% return, just a little over half as much as the S&P 500's 24% jump. But here's the thing. Almost all of the small caps gain came in just this month. 12% of that move was December. So in other words, small caps going into next year, they got a lot of momentum. And I think that will continue. And here's the other thing to consider. With the November election, it is entirely possible that stocks, we talked about it earlier in the show, and Craig Johnson agreed, by the way, stocks go into hibernation for a period of time leading up to the vote. Maybe, April, May, June, people say, hey, I'm going to wait it out and just see what happens, which means if that happens, much of the year's gains could come in just the first couple of months. And small caps are riding a big time rally right now. Plus, if we do get some soft, economic landing news like it's looking like, that could benefit domestic American companies in a big way. And pretty much every small cap stock gets nearly all its sales and revenue from America, or at least North America. So there it is, my number one prediction of the year, small caps over big caps. So to recap my big four for 24, just for fun, not investment advice predictions. Number 4, some big solar stocks outperform the overall market. Number 3, Brazil booms and is a better investment than the U.S. Number 2, oil and natural gas in their year flat to down. And this is it. Number 1, small caps for the win. Call it Bobby Brady beats up Greg trade. Where am I wrong? Let me know. I always love to hear what you think. All right, let's stay on that topic and bring in somebody who knows more than I do, and that is CIC Wealth Management Executive VP and Financial Advisor, Malcolm Ethridge. Malcolm, thumbs up or thumbs down on my small cap prediction?
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I'm honestly surprised oil and natural gas didn't make its way into number 1, though. I do agree with you, though, that the broadening among small, mid, and large cap companies that we've seen the last month or two is definitely going to continue into 2024. And this will probably come as no surprise to you or anyone else who's ever seen me on the network. But I think tech is going to be the sector to lead there. I just think it's too much excitement around AI for us to not see that theme continue, at least in the first couple of quarters into next 2024.
Yeah, I didn't want to do oil and gas, number 1, because I figured it'd be too obvious. So I kind of kept people guessing. And that's what you're saying, Malcolm, is what makes me nervous about my prediction. And I'm going to post this on CNBC.com next week. And I always write, where could I be wrong? Because with everything you do, with all the investment decisions I'm sure you and your team make, you think, where could I be wrong? And where I think I may be wrong is, to your point, that if this AI big tech momentum continues, they're going to drag the overall S&P 500 up again and once again trounce the small caps.
Well, I think we're going to see a bit of a rotation. I hate to use that word too many times in this conversation, but a rotation away from some of the Mag 7 into other names that fall up under the S&P 500. But I also think, sticking with the small cap theme, I'm thinking about a company like PubMatic, right, which is an AI play, right? It allows advertisers to create content, AI generated advertising content, so that smaller businesses that can't afford to advertise with the Facebooks and the Googles and the like still have the ability to create these digital ads and get them out there. So the fact that names like Spotify and Amazon have already seen success using AI generated advertising content and have plans to push further into that direction next year tells me there's potential for PubMatic shareholders next year.
Well, I love that you're doing PubMatic, or, by the way, any new name, Malcolm, because that's been hard and these stocks have just not performed. It's like you just buy the QQQ and let it ride and you print money. There's no way that can continue forever.
Agreed. I think that realistically, there's a few names up underneath the surface, even in the mega cap space, that we're not really paying attention to, that will have a 2x or a 3x multiple on their market cap, similar to what we saw happen with NVIDIA this year. And that will just basically create that rotation that I'm talking about, away from certain names that have powered the Mag 7. We'll have to find a new name for them in 2024. Who knows what we'll call it. But I definitely think there's opportunity there for other names at the upper end of the S&P that have AI leaning.